G'day friends and fans, welcome to Dave Talks Off, Ukraine War Update for the 31st of March 2026. I'm your host, the author David Applegate, and as the war continues, I continue to bring you unbiased news from both sides of the war. And as the war continues, so does the war of words and the propaganda. And of course, so does the drones. Drones from both sides have inflicted damage. And of course, Ukraine is targeting Russia's economy, and Russia is targeting Ukraine's economy. Ukraine says, we are the heroes, and Russia says, no, you're not. Yeah. Europe says, we're going to stand by you forever, Ukraine. Really? Like how you abandoned the US in Iran, right? Yeah, hypocrisy knows no bounds with liberalism. They come at you and say how much we're your friends forever. And then, no, they don't want friends. They want obedient puppies who pay their bills. Europe is the expensive women, the middle-aged woman in the expensive dress, the expensive sunglasses, the expensive hairdo, or the jewellery, or the fur coats, a big handbag with a little doggy that says, pay my bills, Gerald. Yes. And, well, no more Biden and Obamas, paying their bills. And that's what they like. They like weak men. Weak men will do what they're told. They think they're so self-important. That's why they constantly create these unelected positions and unelected bureaucracies. Now, we have conflict across many points on the front. The Russians are slowly closing the gap here. They haven't really done much lately. They, though there's a lot of activity, the Russians have not made any breakthrough at Lyman, and they've had some success at Sylvesk. Okay. Now, it does not reflect on the map, but according to the Ukrainian news feed, Russia has now occupied Svyato-Pokrovske and Vasyukivka, and they've advanced near Vasyukivka and Bondari. This comes on as well as further advances at Fedorovka. Here we have, as you can see, big old gap in the map, not updated. According to some maps, the Russians have taken a lot more territory here than has been shown. Ukrainians have been squeezed in here as well. But as we look around the map, the rest, there is very little action and activity. Comparative to the size of the map, don't forget. Yeah, the dots take up big spaces, but they're... Now, apparently, this is a series of clashes from a day ago. For some reason, they haven't taken them down. But, yeah, this is the problem. But 12 minutes ago, just as while I was putting this together, fresh clashes have broken out west of Hirapol, Now, I don't know, this is a push yet, but we have seen Russians take turns. They do not. They've broken up the battlefield into 6 battle groups, and each battle group takes turns during the day at random intervals, at random locations, known only to the commanders up until the point they're told to fire, to engage. Most of these clashes are exactly that. They open up on the artillery and then relocate. And that happens a few hours each day across this front. But there are a few where there are direct clashes. Most of the clashes are drones and artillery. Except here where lots of bombs and lots of drones. Now, Dnipro, Odessa, and a couple of other locations were hit. And as per usual, Ukraine says the Russians only attacked civilian targets and only killed civilians. Now, the Russian version of the Shahed drone is called Kiran, and the Kiran 2 has made the conflict deadlier. According to the Russians, they have installed a passive homing radar system that enables better terrain following. These drones are able to fly at a lower altitude straight into their target. Now, they target foreign hotels in Ukraine because they are where they because he used to barrack foreign mercenaries. Now they're just going to explain how it's got a long range, it can loiter a little bit, it's got a terrain following radar system, that's able to home in on the target using the data, and it's able to pick its target out of the decoys. I don't know if that's true or not. But there you go. Tanks hidden amongst civilians is allegedly what they are. As well as not just tanks, but the military uses civilian vehicles. And we'll get to that shortly. But yeah, it has a increased capacity, not just of batteries, but of communications and radar, and its size. It's a much bigger drone. Yeah, Shahed 136 from Iran. Oops. As we see, here's a pickup. Looks like it. Now, as you can see, it's got a gun on the back. So, when you hear about vehicles being destroyed, that's what Russia is often talking about. Now, there are various drone types on display from Russian forces, and they have about 200 of them were loitering. Ukraine claims of shots 267 down out of 200, 189. But then say, so out of 20, there were hits at 11 locations. So Russia used, like I said, loitering munitions and, they use loitering munitions and they use drones, increasingly overwhelm air defences to force the country to waste lots of money on missiles that cost more. Now, Ukraine is arguing that the pipeline should remain closed because it funds the Russian war machine. But it's a deal between Russia and Hungary, who is not a party to the war. Ukraine is trying to make everyone a party to their war. That's how World War I started. That's how World War II started. Escalation. a sore loser, a pity party going, yeah. Right? We can't always get our way with, we can't always get what we want. But these constant, pathetic, whining, sore losers. Well, EU is buying Russian gas and oil. And the EU wants the Duba pipeline opened. Ukraine wants you to be a slave and a party to their war. Right? They want you to bail them out. Now, I have told you often that Zelensky is simply not in charge. All right, Garland Nixon, I don't know if he said this or not. He is a critic. He often criticizes Zelensky and others, but he's not exactly well known to everyone. I have no dispute. I have no credible source to say otherwise. But it has been often my opinion. Now, I do not think that Zelensky's handlers are American. I think they're British. And Ukrainian security employee Vasyukivka Provnov has allegedly said that if he softens his stance on Russia, things will not go well for Zelensky. Kolomoisky and others want this war to never end. They want to destroy Russia. Keir Starmer and many in Britain, they have convinced themselves that they could save their pathetic economy, their pathetic boomonomics. They'll get their growth back. They'll get their money. They'll get their growth back. All they have to do is destroy Russia and the economy will improve. People are so pathetic. And then they accuse Trump of caring about the stock market. It's all I hear from boomers. Growth needs to reach 4%. You can't constantly grow your economy. But hatred. Ukraine is proving itself just to be a country full of spiteful people who are upset about the Soviet Union and want to do everything they can to hurt the Russians and remove Russian history from Ukraine, calling it decommunization, dismantling Soviet-era memorials and war monuments across the country, altering history to glorify themselves. This is classic narcissism, and liberalism is just such a pathetic, right? They want to please everyone as long as you please them, right? It's a parasitical, toxic relationship that Europe has with Ukraine. And Ukraine doesn't understand that it's dragging itself down. It's destroying itself. But those in power, all they see is the trappings of wealth and power around them. So they're so detached from this war, they don't care what happens. Now, I think he's been given, a UK embassy employee, I think he's been given 24 hours to leave the country. He's been decredited. Apparently he's been named as well. Yancy van Rensburg, definitely a good British name. Definitely British. Yeah. This is the problem. They put UK and its obsession with foreigners, self-humiliation, and oppressing the native population. Again, it comes down to power and money. Despots love foreigners because they have no love or loyalty to the nation or its population. And the whole point of spying was to ensure, right, was to give adequate warning of war, but increasingly they want to be some sort of hero. Oh, we have a new opening up on the front. Yeah. And this was 41 minutes ago. It's only just appeared. A new, yeah. That's what I said about the Russian attacks. They are not linear. By design, they constantly hop around, and we'll probably, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Well, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We rarely hear from 6. The casualties in this area, I think, from Nikopol to Kherson was around 280 last week. There's almost nothing going on here. There's been a few exchanges here. Apparently the Ukrainians are comfortably dug in at Nikopol and nothing's really happened. Neither side's made any major move. Not compared. No, there's major offensive allegedly here, and at Sylvesk, Svyato-Pokrovske, and Kupiansk. So far, we have seen results here at Kupiansk. But we'll see what happens. You don't get instant results, and again, these maps don't update quickly. But many commentators have, and I agree, many commentators have noted that the Russians are not going to gain significant territory before Trump ramps up the pressure and says, right, which will you choose? And he's already told Ukraine off, but all Zelensky does is cry every time he's called out by Trump. Okay, for some reason, and this comes from liberalism, and Zelensky thinks he's equal. Yeah, that's the problem in the world. Ego. It really is. Now, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please support the channel. You can support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon, buy my books, buy my merch. I appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video, and bye for now.